6.3 miles, 8 minutes, 16 seconds per mile today. Feeling really good running in the Pegasus Turbos. Should have been a little bit of a recovery run since I just ran the Nike Race 3 less than 12 hours ago, but I was just feeling really good and went after it. But overall, a good morning. Today I want to talk a little bit more about the race. Usually when I make the race video, I like to keep it a little bit tight, a little bit more condensed about kind of just the race experience and not like to have too much of a talky part. It was marketed as a 6K race. I had 3.49. I think a lot of people had about 3.5 miles for the 4 laps. And my overall time was 22 minutes and 6.7 seconds with an average pace of 6 minutes, 20 seconds per mile. I remember I always start my watch a couple of seconds early because I want to get that GoPro shot of everyone kind of starting moving when the gun goes off, or in this case when the bullhorn goes off. And then at the end of the race, whenever I crossed whatever finish line there was, it just took me a good couple of seconds before I stopped the timer. And so I'm thinking I was at about the 22 minute, maybe 21, high 21 range for that. Looking at my Garmin later on, it said my 5K was at 19 minutes and 33 seconds. And so given a little bit of buffer for that beginning time when I start my watch early, maybe I was at 1931, 1932, if the 5K tracing was accurate. In that area, there weren't too many tall buildings, but we were going around a lot of tight corners. And so I'm not exactly sure how accurate that tracing is. So let's just take it at the 1933. That would put me at about an 8-second PR for 5K compared to the chip time race that I ran a little bit ago when I first tried to break 20 minutes for the 5K. So feeling really good about that because I didn't really rest or otherwise really prepare for this race. And this race had a variety of terrains, some of which were not very great for running, because we were at the Goose Island Barrel House, which is a place that Goose Island has for, I think they do some events kind of like this, but primarily it's a place where they do some of the barrel aging for some of their beers, and they do a lot of brewing. So I felt really good about the times, but I can't really take all the credit for it. Basically what I did was, once the race started, there was a ton of guys there, some of whom were super fast, and so I knew I wouldn't be able to do anything near the front of the pack. And so I intentionally, and this is something I'm working on in all my races, is just let people pass me. And so I let people pass me for a long time until we got about like a quarter mile to a half mile in. People were just passing me like crazy. And then I kind of figured out like who's around me, who's running about the speed that I'm running. And then I found a group of guys that I just basically tucked right in behind. And so there's a lot of footage of me like looking down at my feet, and you could see lots of other feet like right all around me, right in front of me, because I was just following those guys. And whatever pace they were running, I felt like, I don't know what time this is, but I'm gonna run with these guys and see how well I can do. After about like the second or third lap, some of those guys ended up switching out. Some guys got faster, some guys got slower, and then I started chasing some other guys, and some other guys started passing me. So I kind of was in this like same-ish area, running about my 5K pace for most of this race. And then with the last lap, once we got back into because you came in around the gravel area and you came back around into the main concrete area where all the activities were happening, and that's where you started and finished. So as I was getting into the gravel, then I just really picked it up, and whatever I had left, I put in there. So I felt really good about it. My last half mile, from mile 3 to mile 3.49, according to my Garmin, was at like a 6 minute, 7-second pace. So I felt really, really good about that. That is much faster than my 5K kind of race times. And so felt good that I had that much left in me at the end of the race to be able to do that. And I got a much better sense of kind of like if I run another 5K, which I probably won't race another 5K this year, but if I did another one, what does some of the race, strategy feel like? Because when I raced that other one, the one before the rock and roll half marathon, That one, it was just kind of like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to try and run and mimic that feeling, whatever it felt like to do all those track workouts. I need my body to feel that way. And so I just kind of went out way too fast. And then the rest of the race, I was just kind of holding on to any extra seconds that I had kind of put in the bank from starting out too strong. This time I felt like I was really racing it. I felt like I had more control over the 5K. And so that was really encouraging. It felt really good. In terms of the overall race, the event was put on really fantastically as last time. Everyone was able to get a t-shirt. That's the t-shirt I'm wearing right now. And you get it customized with stuff. Last time I put race 002 and I put kofuzi on it because I thought that'd be kind of cool. But then as I've been wearing that shirt around a little bit, it seems kind of weird to put your own name on your own shirt. So that was weird. So I just put race 3 on this one so I could wear it around a little bit more. And on the back, there's like a logo. They take a picture of like the venue. And so the back on each one's a little bit different. So you get a free t-shirt with it. There was like a little bit of a bag check that was there, but it was pretty minimal. But at least it's nice to have. The only thing that I put in my bag check was my phone because I was going to run with my GoPro. For this event, I was able to go home to my due to work schedule, go home and change there and get ready for the race there, and then I just took an Uber over to that spot. It was just south of Humboldt Park in that area, so pretty cool area to have it. And a lot of other racers there. I talked to a couple of people that I've seen at other events. I talked to Charles Gonzalez. I see him on Instagram all the time. He's at every race. I think he signs up basically for every race that's in Chicago. He's always everywhere. Talked to him. I've talked to him at a couple of races now. And even a couple of other people came up and introduced themselves to me, said they enjoyed the channel. So that was really, really cool. Always really great to talk to people who are watching what I'm doing and like meet them in real life. So that was a real treat, and always very flattering when people just come up to me to say hi. So I love that. One of the people that I talked to was I don't know if he was the race director, but he was one of not the MC either, but the guy shouting out instructions before the race. I think he's one of the race coordinators or planners in some way, and he was saying that he watched the other race video and was really happy that with how that video turned out, and was really excited, and we talked quite a bit about the channel. So that was pretty cool too. Saw a lot of other very fast people that I've seen around the Lakefront Trail and elsewhere on Instagram in the Chicago area, so that was cool. Didn't get to talk to too many people, but I did get to see a lot of people out there, so that was awesome. I ended up running. I didn't realize it at the time, but I ended up starting right next to Manny Munoz, and then at the end, he was one of those people who passed me, and then I was trying to chase him again towards the finish. So I think he was right around me for a lot of the race, and then he just destroyed me at the end. Britness was there also, although she wasn't racing that night. And so, but she was also there with her crew. And then Black Bean Runner was also there. Lots of cool people were out there. So definitely kind of like turning into a who's who in Chicago running for this racing series. So pretty cool to see that out there. The person that invited me to the race, he was like, hey, if you know anyone else that's has a good social media following, feel free to invite them or just bring them along to the race. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, I will. But then I was like, I don't really know that many like no people like in real life that kind of fit that category. But anyone that I might invite is already going to the event, so I'm not really sure who else. So a really cool event to go to. Very flattered to be invited to go to these things. When I got there, they had me check in at the media check-in, which was weird. And made me kind of feel like if I'm media, then I guess my brand of media or my version of media is like embedded journalism. But it was a lot of fun. Looking forward to more races. I don't know how many more of these there are going to be, but there are going to be a couple more of these, at least one. The plan is to build this up to the Chicago Marathon. And that's the whole goal with Nike and this racing series, and that's why they're all in Chicago. There was a lot of great photographers and videographers that were there as well, and they do a really great job of getting their content out right away. Already the following morning today, I was able to get in my inbox access to tons of really great photos from the race. Some of the shots that they're getting are just amazing. Smoke Daddy did the barbecue. Goose Island had a whole bunch of their beer there. They were giving out samples. I mean, all the beer was free and included, but they were giving out samples of their marathon beer. So they're brewing something special just for the marathon. They're going to be the post-race beverage provider. And that was a really, really tasty beer. Lots of great music, great atmosphere, great people. A really well-run event. A lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the next one. If you have any questions about that, put it in the comments. Thanks for watching today's video, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Yo, what's going on?